we did something that hopefully you guys will appreciate. I don't think any of it makes a difference for me, but I think it might improve y'all's experience in this. Let's make sure that we get this going, and okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and put this on the live playlist. Okay, and we'll put this on the Gaslands playlist as well. We'll hit save on that. And let me get the video link. Look at a commercial that I didn't pick. And we're going to skip it. Okay. And let's go to live chat. All right, so we got, I think, a little bit of a treat. We're having a hell of a day today, and I mean that in a good way. Let's clean some of this stuff off the table here. Wait for some of you folks to get in. I know there's a little bit of delay. Finish your shower so you can get on in here. And we've got some things that we need to clear up the table. I'm going to go ahead and use this little container. I've got some items here that we may leave at a later date. We took some things apart. We just jumped in with both feet today. No cogitating, just doing. And I think we're going to have pretty good results. We've had pretty good results all day. But I decided to make something out of nothing. And it is pretty... Is that like making a mountain out of a molehill? No, not at all. We're making our first building that's specific for Gaslands. I don't know why these are cut to this size. Oh, these are the remainders. We'll throw them in here as well. We might come back and get these things. Let's clear this area. I made a mess here for sure. All right, so today we've been working after we finished painting our ram rat. I think that's what we ended up calling it. We reconfigured a couple different things here. We've got the phone kind of in the same place, but God, this squeaky ass chair. Let's see if we can. But we decided to put another additional light here for you guys, and maybe we can shoot it from the front here, and you guys can get more lighting, better lighting. So if you've got something like this, you're able to see it a little bit better. Now it's still reversed, unfortunately. Nothing I can do about that, but at least it's brighter. So, and remember, I am not left-handed. Not there's anything wrong with being left-handed, but yeah. So this is going to be a little bit better view than visibility than you normally have. Okay, but we're going to put that off to the side because that's not what we're working on today. We decided to make our first Gasland devoted building out of junk, and it's extremely satisfying. Am I making it RC? I don't know what that means. Radio control? No. So I went and bought a razor yesterday because I needed one, and it came in this little case. And we're making a canteen out of it because this game promotes drinking and driving. Don't do it in real life. It's just a game. These are all drunks and convicts and bad people. And so this is literally, God bless it, this chair needs a slapping. So this is what we got so far, okay? We airbrushed it. We airbrushed it black as we do everything as a base color. And we're going to paint this thing today. This is just cardboard that's made out of it. Just already looked like Adobe. So we got some surprises in here. So we got a little door that we made out of corrugated cardboard here. We added some gears and some tires and things like that. We have a door that's made out of cardboard, okay, that we're going to paint like it's made out of wood. I happen to have some little Spanish tiles to put on it because this is going to be the crash and burn cantina. Okay, so this is going to be where all the fights happen. This is just some building that's just somewhere on the battlefield. You're not going to drive through it. It's not going to show up in the middle of the roadway. You know, it's just kind of ambiance. Okay, and when we're done with it, the finishing touch we're going to put on, I'm actually going to kill these lights, is I actually covered this because we're actually going to have a couple little micro machine cars up here on the roof. I didn't spray these because I'm going to leave them in these colors. We're going to wash them. They're going to be, I don't know if I'm going to put smoke on it or something like that, but this is what this is going to look like. And we have a little flickering light on it. Of course, it doesn't look like much right now because it's not adobe'd out, but that's what we're going to have. We're going to have guns on the car as well because it's for Gaslands. And this is made out of freaking nothing, okay? And it's all glued together with hot glue gun, okay? So, all right. So let's go ahead and back and put this on. Let's put the condom on it, the flame condom. Let's get a little bit more stickum. And this should be fucking amazing, okay? And hopefully, you know, I didn't want to really do it. I didn't want to do a video of how I was doing it live because this is my first time doing it. I'm figuring it out. And I don't want to be like playing win, lose, or draw in a room with people screaming different stuff at me. You know, if that makes sense. So that would just send me, it would be really distracting. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is for the base color of the Adobe, we're going to use craft paint. All right, so let's get a new one of these because we're going to use a lot of paint. God, this chair needs an enema. It's a cheap ass chair and it's tired of carrying my weight around. Is it as low as it goes? Yeah. Okay. All right, so this is what we're going to dry brush off of. And let's pick the darkest color you're going to see on this building, which is probably going to be something along the lines of not much of that dark chocolate. I could run out of that one, so let's not do that one. But I see I have another dark chocolate. Okay, so it's fair game. All right. Now, I don't want to go super heavy on this because I don't want this to soften and then just turn into a booger. All right. Oh, and by the way, I'm leaving lights back on here. Okay. It's going to look like a melted asshole, just so you know. It's going to look really bad to begin with, but trust the process. All right, so dark chocolate, and let's get a brush that is about to get treated very poorly. All right. And we're going to go over, wow, we're going to need to go thicker than that. We're going to go over this whole building. We don't mind if some black, this is primered. We don't care if some black ends up getting on the gets left alone. We want to leave in the shadows and stuff. We're still going to put black lining and stuff on it, but make it easier. Now, I didn't really have a vision of what I wanted to look like. I just saw this cardboard thing and I'm like, yeah, we got to make a cantina out of this thing. So we already have a logo for it and everything. We're going to have a sign and all that stuff. Oh yeah, this is, Hoffman, man, you're in for a treat. I've had an extremely good day today. Yeah, this is the Crash and Burn Cantina. It's all made out of garbage, basically. I found all the extra stuff that I have. I'm like, I know I got another one of these little flicker things here. Found it. This actually kind of reminds me, this little being curved like this, reminds me of this, what's the name of that restaurant? We had one that just closed down. I don't know why, it seemed to be pretty popular. Bahama Breeze. You had a Bahama Breeze that closed down. It was a beautiful building with rock and looked like a Spanish fortress or something like that. And now it just sits there empty. It's sad. Yeah, I don't know what you're saying, man. Thank you. Maybe. At least whatever you're saying uses actual, alphabet. The same alphabet we have. You saw a thumbnail. It's good. Reminds me of Santa Fe, New Mexico. Yeah, it's just, there's actually a lot of names. I'm like, okay, what's the name for a bar on Gaslands? And it gave me some decent suggestions. And Carnage Cantina was the roundup. Was the second roundup. But I'm like, I got a buddy of mine I used to game with growing up, and we'd always say crash and burn. And I'm like, it just makes sense. Just makes sense to do that. So hopefully this will be the first of many buildings, all made out of refuse, recycled materials. And I took some cars and I took them apart, got these gears and tires from. They're tires they're cars that I just never build. They're like little pullback type cars and things like that. I would have gone on here like an hour and a half ago, but I've been working on this. I didn't want to do this live and figure it out. You'd be like trying to put something together, trying to think, and a bunch of screaming kids, hey, do this, stick your head in front of the shotgun, all kinds of, stuff that distracting. So in this wacky world, we actually promote drinking and driving because, that would be an excuse for these people to drive the way they do, but not in real life. Just a game, folks. Besides, the people that drive these cars are criminals, and they'd probably be better off not being around. It is corrugated cardboard here on the side. Yep, it's actually from it's this, and I just lifted one side of it up. Did you watch the beginning? What I have on the roof? What I have on the roof is going to be that's the pride and joy right there. We got one of these flicker flames, and we're going to have two cars that are crashed here on the roof. And I don't know if I'm going to put smoke on it because, it's not really a smoke. It's not really a fire. It's a sign, so there, it's part of the decor. All done with garbage and hot glue gun. All done with stuff I already had. The last thing I got was the Spanish tile. Someone gave it to me and said, hey, I got some of this Spanish tile. You want it? I'm like, oh, maybe I'll find a use for it someday. Do you have any issues with little strands of cardboard left after pulling off the top layer? Very little. I took my glasses out. I got in with an X-Acto knife, took most of it off, and just went over a little bit lightly with sandpaper. And as you can see, it turned out pretty well. I had to find the cardboard that was tight enough of a pattern. You can't use like the one off of like an Amazon box. They're like two part. Well, you could. I just don't like the way it looked. What is going on? What's the meaning of this? Okay, let's move this over a little bit. All right. Use a little water spray, activates the glue. Oh no, I don't want to risk doing any water. I had no problems with it. And the door looks really basic, but we're going to paint it like it's made out of wood with wood strips. We've done that before. It turns out epic. I did take the edge of this off. It was like in a bowl, right? So it's kind of flat. I'm going to go ahead and just go around it in this color as well. I'm going to make it so that it's non-denominational. I could use it in the concrete environment, or I could use it in a dirt environment. So it's not going to be like super dirt. I'm not going to put like grass grow. Well, I don't think I'm going to. We'll see. This, of course, will be the side that takes the layer that takes the longest, is getting the initial color on it. And it's also the one that makes people think, I don't think you're doing it the right color. Yeah, it'll be the right color. I got no experience like putting this stuff on, but the painting part, yeah, we got the painting part down. And if it doesn't turn out to my liking, well, we'll fix it. We will fix it. Now, the good thing is any of this stuff breaks off, you just fix it with hot glue gun again. Yeah, I got a workout today. I think I need a tiny little bit more of this brown, and then we'll start bringing it up. Well, I knew it was going to be some kind of adobe building. It looked like, I saw this, I'm like, this belongs on Tatooine or something. Stoffel LaRue, welcome. Not going to focus on these little parts of the wood that come out, because, you know, we'll paint those in when the main color of the adobe, or the adobe-like finish, is done. So I'm going to be like, you know, well, that's not really adobe colored. Well, it's just an adobe-type finish. All right? Next color, bang, up. Let's go. Turn this thing around. We did chocolate brown. We're going to do... I got to be careful here, not get crazy. Raw sienna. I believe raw sienna should be fine. Look, the reality is if I don't like how it turns out, I can fix it or repaint it. It's not a big deal. It's just going to make it stronger. Now, this one's a little mustard-like, if I remember correctly. And I was like, man, I didn't know. This is not going to turn out how I like it, but you need to add some vibrant colors as you go up, or it'll end up looking very dusty. I mean, unless you want that look. Okay, so this is the part where this is going to look, I believe this is when I did the palm trees. This is the color that looked like green, almost greenish. So this is probably going to have 5 layers of color, maybe even 6, to get it where we want it to. Have you used any spray paint? Nope. No, it's not styrofoam, it's cardboard. It's made out of, it's just cardboard, you know, it's recycled material. Now, I don't want anything other than a hot glue gun that would have been able to glue that thing all the way in the top there. So it's pretty secure. I mean, you still have to be careful with it, but I think it'll be fine traveling. How's the lighting? Better? Or was it not worth putting this other lamp on here? Remember, we're still going to do black lining on here. Drippings. Now, I got a Cantina. I'm going to have to do the lowrider guys pretty soon. I mean, it'd be kind of embarrassing to, Cantina serves all kinds of people, though. Better than normal. Okay, good. Well, I got this light I just wasn't using. It's moved it around. All right, a little bit on this side. Now, what I don't want to do is, unlike layer painting, if I was painting figures, ooh, I got some red here. Where the hell did that red come from? That was very odd. Nothing red there. Anyhow, I don't want to mix these colors. In other words, I don't want to use that chocolate brown, add some of this and do, you want distinct color differences when you're doing dry brushing. If you make them too close, it's like you're wasting your time. You don't want them too far away from each other, but they need to be complementary, but there's some of this paint that just didn't mix well. Just one spot that just had some red on it. Santa Fe, New Mexico. New Mexico has a lot of crime. Supposedly. I've never been. It's too damn far out there. Whole vacation just to travel there and back. Okay, we're going to put a little bit of this on the ground. Not get crazy. You're going to have bystanders? Not at this time. Don't know yet. Figures are a problem, not because I don't want to paint them. They're just availability. Availability and cost. I don't want to spend $20 right now on figures. I wanted to get some wrapper guys. And they make figures for them. They make a lot of really interesting figures, actually, but the price point on some of them is like, not at this moment. Thing I like about New Mexico, at least parts of it, no humidity. 90 degrees outside, and you step under the shade, it's 70. Holland. Yeah, I don't like the humidity, but I do because I just, when I go out west, when I've gone out west to Colorado or Utah, it's just too damn dry. It kills me. I gotta constantly be drinking fluids or I'll get a massive dehydration headache. But you can go outside, spend all day outside and not smell like a shrimp salad when you go inside. Unlike where I live, where it can be cold, you're not even sweating, and you just pick up stinks. All right, now we've done chocolate brown. We've done raw sienna. Time to get creamy. Maybe not yet. Rusted pipe. We'll do rusted pipe. Wait a second. Let's do camel. Fuck it. Let's do camel. The color called camel. Now, if I had jumped from this brown to the camel color, it's going to make it look really dusty. That's why we added this orange-like color. It's not that orangish. It just looks, and it changes a lot as it dries. So we want to be careful with this. Just makes the color warmer. And I learned that from experience because it didn't make any sense to me to do it that way. 74 people online. Jesus Christ. Okay, grab a seat, folks. At this rate, there will be more of these buildings. This is going, I'm having an extremely, very happy day. It's good for personal morale. And it's going to be a little bit before you can see how great this is going to look, because we got a lot of steps. None of them take really long, but we got a lot of steps to build the color up, so forth. 92, 106, what it says. That's, you know, hey, you guys are keeping me company, and maybe you'll figure out, you'll go through your recycle. Hey, there's better ways to recycle than throwing things in the recycle bin, like actually like making terrain and stuff out of it. And this is literally a razor came in here. Look, you can see that's where the razor is. And there's like cartridges that were behind it. But just like everything else, I've already named this thing before I started working on it. Sorry, I gotta come down here. I'm glad the lighting's better for you guys. I have to kind of look into the light a little bit. It's not too, it's not a problem for me. It's going to be one of these, you know, here's my first building I painted for Gaslands. People are like, man, why does it look so good? I said, because it's not the very first thing I ever did. It's just the first building for Gaslands. Like, you know, I've been painting for 4 decades. Really only the last 2 are worth a damn. The first 2 are like, you know, the internet improves us all. You ever check your analytics, see what countries of viewers? I have in a long time. It's, you know, most of my viewers are from the UK. You know, wargaming is a hobby that started in the UK. It makes sense. Then you pretty much have the United States, that everything just kind of tapers off. You know, most of my viewers have never been from the United States. People in this country are too damn lazy to watch me. Hey, I'll just call them like I see them. Okay, we're not going to worry about the door right now. Okay, we're just ignoring the door. If we get some of this paint on the door, perfect. But the door is going to be its own thing. Yeah, see, now we're looking good. And we're not promoting drinking and driving, but we are in this game, because these guys are a bunch of drunk, you know, asshole pirate. You know, they're the worst of the worst. That's why we don't care if they get into a fiery crash. Now, we're going to bring it up one level more, for sure. What is this color that's here? This is called desert sand. Is it much different than this? No, it's not much different at all. So it's not worth dry brushing this on top of that. We need more of a difference. So what I'm going to take is I'm going to take some white, and I'm going to mix it with this camel. And we're not going to go all over it. We're only going to go over the highlight points. I can look at that building. It looks awesome, man. Just, you know, there's going to be it's going to smell like spilt tequila in there. I think now much people don't care about practice of art and skill. I know people always take the easy way out. Well, you know, the reality is this is a therapeutic. You know, I'm doing this because it makes me feel good. You know, but it does take some time. But what else are you going to do? Watch TV? I have nothing to show for it? People will tell me, like, how do you have time to do all that? I'm like, well, I don't watch any television. I'm doing stuff. A little bit more. There we go. There we go. We're going to hit this lightly. Ever so lightly. Okay. Hit the corners. And we're probably going to end up getting an even lighter color than this, but not just yet. Want to kind of get like the main colors on here. And then when we come in and paint the wooden pieces of wood, the doors, that kind of stuff. Every little thing you paint more on here is going to make it all kind of come back together, look like it's together. I may put a sign on one of them as, I was going to put one as, dicks in one side and chicks in the other one or something like that. But, I don't want to insinuate that, men have to come in through one door and women in another one. Because, it's got doors on both sides. So I'm probably not going to do that. Not focusing on the floor, on the ground right now. I think that's good for now. It's probably going to come up a little bit more, but I think that's good for now. To have the truth, most build everything from scratch. You have to, the reality is I wouldn't mind. There's some brilliant 3D printers out there. There's one guy that I saw that had some stuff that definitely reminded me of like Borderlands or something like that. And it was like, okay, well, this is perfect, but like it costs money, and that's not the big thing, but like I want to work on a building now, and I don't have one. I don't want to wait a week to get it. In a week, I'll have all the parts. I'll have the guns for the next set of guns for the vehicles, and I won't have time to work on that. So, All right. Next thing, before I do the Spanish tile on here, we're going to do all the wood. So we're going to come in and let's get a really, 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 well, actually I don't have one. I said a really, really, really dark brown, but I don't think I really have one other than this burnt umber, and we're probably going to add some black to it. And we're going to paint all of the wooden reinforcement pieces and the door as a base color in this, and then we'll start bringing everything up. Yeah, I don't want to start collecting stuff, right? I don't want to start collecting like garbage. And this has a lot of red in it, this brown. So we got to be careful. We got to definitely cut it with this. I want to go darker than that anyways. All right, let's get our brush out here. And I moved everything out of the way. Oh, you loud ass chair. All right, let's see. We don't want one that's too small. I don't like using really precise brushes for things that don't need to be that precise, because then you like use up all your miracles. They need a really precise brush. You don't have any because you've used them all. I think this one will do. That was somewhere in the middle. Let's get a little bit of water, which we did add a new clean batch. No, the drab colors are better for camo, but nap colors are so much more useful. Yeah, well, this isn't going to be camouflage. Oh, no, it could be, See where this takes us. A little bit of black. Black, add some brown to it. Add more brown. That's about where we want to be. So we're going to come in here, we're going to paint these pieces of the rafters that stick out of this building. And this is just made out of just matchsticks. That's it. I don't have any Tamiya. I used to love Tamiya paints way back in the day. I don't have any anymore. I never liked the way they hand painted. They airbrushed great, but at the time that I used them, the only other acrylics that were available was the game. Well, at least in my area that was available. I was talking about the late 80s, early 90s. What I really liked about Tamiya was that the cap on the paint was really close to the color. Like it was like you could set those things out and rapidly grab which color it is. And at that time, they were the only ones that did something like that. And there's water cleanup, and it seemed like the colors were pretty spot on. But man, I haven't had a Tamiya paint in a long time. I love everything else Tamiya. Their models are like, second to none as far as I'm concerned. And I use craft paints for buildings. I don't. You're not really going through that much paint, but it's peace of mind, knowing that you're not having to go and buy a refill of the paint soon. Now, this business of making things look like wood that isn't wood, in the case of this, because it's a door made of cardboard, is probably one of my favorite things to do. And then we have this supporting. I had no idea that I was even going to put the Spanish tile on it. I'm like, man, I think I got some Spanish tile. Somebody recently gave me a sheet of, it's wafer thin. But this is completely an ambiance building. You can't go inside of it. It serves no purpose in the game other than sitting on the sidelines, taking you to a faraway place. That's it. That's all it does. Now, we are going to add some washes in between there. Make those things stand out. And this does take a while to do, but so does playing any video game and grinding. Like I don't mind playing video games, but just grinding and playing the same thing over and over again, try to get the right drop of whatever weapon that you're looking for. Yeah, that's a waste of time. I hate that. I don't mind playing video games, and I certainly play them, but I'm not going to sit here like, okay, well, we got to get this special gun that only drops 2% of the time when I kill this one guy that I've killed 20 times. Like, I don't like that. That's I'm not interested in that. Remember when communism fall? My father bought me a paper of BF 109. Little things start opening the scale. How'd you get in it? Me? Building model. Well, my dad was in trains. I got into World War II stuff in junior high. And there was this one guy that I knew that did models. And I thought at the time he was like really good. Maybe it wasn't that good now, but I'd like to think that we've all gotten better because of the internet, dramatically better because of the internet. I stopped doing it for a while, and then I got back into it around 2004, starting doing the ancient stuff. And I've been pretty much steady doing it every year since then. Now I probably do it more than I ever have because it's like therapy. It's like, it's therapy from work. So, and the internet allows me to share stuff with other people and I get ideas from everybody else. It's kind of like, the more I do it, the more I want to do it. Which is funny because now there's no hobby stores. At least there's no hobby stores in this area. But I don't need to buy more stuff. Let's just use it. And this is made out of trash. And a lot of people hate Facebook. I don't. I think it's great for the hobby. That's really all I use it for. I don't get into arguments and shit with people. It's just a real easy way to share. You know, lots of people have told me, "Hey, you need to go on the such and such forum." Give me a second, and I'll tell you which one it is. It's some British forum. Lead Adventure forum. Like, you can't post pictures easily. And there's just, it's not 1999 anymore. Like that system, like there's just better ways to do stuff, you know? And we're going to bring these little wood things up. It's not like they're being left in one color. But the crowning glory is what's going to be on the roof of this building. I'm not worried about the little boxes or the tires or anything like that. Let's just get the main color of this. Now, we don't have to add this. We've already created this shade here. We can add whatever colors we want to it at this point. So I'm going to take some of this camel, which I'm almost out of. We'll take some of this camel here. And that's, okay, waste a lot of it. And we're going to add some of this to lighten it up. And then we're going to come in here and the water's just to kind of keep everything flowing right so it doesn't catch. And I'm kind of spoiled about painting and having my hands rested on the table, my wrists rested on the table. So painting this door might be a little bit of a challenge, but I think we can do okay. I think Instagram is great to show it. I think yeah, I can't get an Instagram. The whole square thing and I don't know how to use it well. I'm not an Instagram fan. I have posted on Instagram. I just feel like I don't get enough feedback that it's worth my time messing with it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but all right, let's what can we prop this up? I just need to prop it up just a little bit. Little bit. That might be that's enough. That's enough. All right, so we're going to come in and we're going to see. I'm going to have to kill this one. See, that's terrible for you guys. There we go. That's terrible for you guys. And that's bad for me. All right. We hit the edge of this. This is just made out of cardboard. And we're going to paint this like there's a rim. All the way around it. And same thing on this side. Bring it up a little bit more so it's noticeable. And then we're going to come in here and paint it like it's made of wood. little bit and do the edges in that. And then we'll turn around and show you guys. We still got more to do. Let's do a similar thing with the other side. Yeah, there's all kinds of venues, and some venues work for them. Some, you know, every time I search for something, I always get Reddit. Reddit is so difficult to use. You know, Reddit seems like it's really good for people to have arguments with each other. Not interested in that. Not really my hobby. Reddit is a cesspool. Yeah, people that are in there are really sensitive too. And I don't mean that in a good way. Like they like lack father figures or something. They lack good examples in their life. Okay. Like a model piece of Tatooine. Well, Tatooine is kind of like a Mexican cantina, isn't it? Except there's no Mexicans on. In that Star Wars episode, in the first one, anyways. Yeah, this is the Crash and Burn Cantina. Yeah, it does look a bit Old West. Well, when we do the little tile on it, it's going to look even more Westish. It's just made out of something a razor came in. I bought a razor and it came in here, and here is this big spot where the extra blades came, and it's got a little flickering light that's going to be the wreck that's on the roof. You know, it's a themed restaurant. It's a themed establishment. Oh man! Oh, I forgot to do this little wooden thing over here. So let's go ahead and, before we get further along, let's go ahead and paint that as well. There is a wooden log here at the top of this corrugated entrance. Just making something out of nothing. Yep, hot glue gun, and I made it this afternoon. All you just got to realize that you got nothing to lose. Like, okay, this is a piece of trash, basically. Like, let's do something with it. What's better than recycling it? Hell, making terrain out of it. Every time we paint something different on here, it's going to look better and better and better. It's just, you know, it's going to look more like the place. All right, Spanish tile time. Yep, this one. Damn. Terracotta, yeah, it's bright as hell, but those little roofs, oh boy. The roofs on that little Italian building that I did. I used this as one. Okay, you're gonna be a troublemaker? Jeez. Just need a little bit of that. Something I can be a little bit more rough with. Something like this. All right. And we're gonna make some of this. Let's just do it right on here. See how pumpkin orange that is? Tone that down a little bit. Now the problem with this is these paints tend to be really wet, which means you gotta wait a little while before you put the other color on it. I'm gonna go against the grain of these. And get it on just about, we'll just see what color this ends up being. They don't need to be like, Taco Bell red. Although I would say probably some Taco Bells have blue roofs. I don't know why I'm thinking that, but I feel like they do. I'm surprised people even go to Taco Bell. I mean, I did, back in the, early 90s when, you went out somewhere and you wanted something to eat after you went out and it's the only place open. And you have a 30-cent taco, whatever, and have like 5 of them or whatever. I don't know if they were 30 cents, but they were certainly 50 cents. Now they're probably $2 a piece or something. Made out of dog meat. They may have always been made out of that, but who knows? This first layer always looks real sloppy. You got plenty of time to go and add more details to it. Okay. Let's get rid of this big ass brush. And we're going to leave some of this darker color in the recesses in between these. We're still not done with the door. Okay, we're going back around to this side. Now, I'm going to resist adding white to it. So I'm going to come in here with this, and we're going to add a little bit of this camel color. As a highlight. And then what I'll probably do is add a little bit more and not hit every single tile that color. So, you know, not every tile is the same. Let's flip the other ones that are a little drier. Like maybe this tile is a little lighter, maybe for whatever reason. And then maybe this one's a little lighter. Okay, still not done with it. Just kind of bringing everything up, and we're going to add little drippings and stuff on it. It's going to make those little things stand out even more. All right. The chimenea. The chimney. Let's make sure we got a good coat of black on it. We did prime it. I don't know what the house specialty is. Hoffman could probably get Chat GPT to make me a suspected menu that this place would have. What would the make-believe menu that the Crash and Burn Cantina would serve? Roadkill tacos. Except the joke is it probably would be roadkill. Roadkill chalupas. All right, it's probably time to paint the box. So this box, we're going to go ahead and paint this box that's sitting over here. We already have a wooden type color over here, so let's kind of keep that going. This was a little resin piece of something that I've had for decades. Okay, any other boxes around here? We got a couple gears, sacks or something different. Right. Where's that? Let's go ahead and get the white out. We just need a little bit here. This box has been here a while, so it's nice. So that's the problem with craft paint is the closing mechanism sucks. Hold on 1 second, folks. All right. Let's get this back in the correct positioning. Yeah, I'm gonna. You guys just aren't getting the whole. Let me turn the phone around. Let me turn the phone around because I just walked away from this thing and I'm like, son of a bitch, this thing looks good. All right. It's not I'm tooting my own horn. I'm gonna show you guys how easy it is to be doing this kind of stuff. You could be doing all kinds of really cool stuff, making it. Oh, wrong thing. This one. Here we go. Look at this. This is basically nothing. This is a container that a razor comes in, made out of cardboard. All these doors and stuff are cardboard. These are cogs that I broke apart a little car to do. And we're not done yet. We're not done yet. This is this is what I like, because I'm like, okay, I can't wait to finish this and do another one. Okay, let's flip this back around. It's like a graveyard of like things I need to. There we go. That's good. All right. So, and of course, the finishing touch here is we got a little flame there that flickers, and we're going to have two cars up here because it's the Crash and Burn Cantina. Now, I don't know that I'm going to put smoke or something out of there. I don't know that I'm going to do that, but there's going to be at least a little flicker flame on it. It's something I already had. I had many of them. I had many of them left over. I made lots of little explosions and stuff, and I had them left over. So, anyhow, I'm probably going to continue doing it this way. I'm probably not going to assemble them live because I'm like trying to invent shit as I go, and it's a bit distracting, like everybody in the room screaming, hey, put a cactus on it, or whatever. This isn't necessarily an narrated environment. This is just a themed cantina thing. You're gonna call something a cantina, it needs to look like, it needs to look Tex-Mex. Heavy on the Mex. Okay, so we got these boxes are done. The sacks are going to be kind of a light color. I want them not as warm as the actual building, so they stand out a little bit more. So let's grab skeleton bone that's up here. Skeleton bone is probably a good base, and we're going to mix black in it. It's going to look really gray-like, and we're going to paint those sacks in that. We'll start off there. If we need to pick some out so that sacks are different colors, then we'll do that. Oh, I've been so busy working on this, I've skipped lunch. Oh shit. This is frozen. So here's where all the comments are. So I apologize for that. Let's see what we got here. Red cesspool, yourself so cool. That texture's not painted on. No, it's the cardboard. The cardboard already came in that. Life's changing. I'm 60. When we were around 10, we used to do this. Kind of fun to see if they're developed. Hi from Russia. Is this from Star Wars? No. No, it is not. Do you like the Tamiya model or Airfix model? Tamiya, definitely. The problem is Tamiya just doesn't make enough stuff at 1/72nd scale. I'm a 1/72nd scale purist. So, I do not like 1/48 scale. I do not like 28 millimeter things. That doesn't mean I dislike people that do them. People are entitled to different opinions. It's good to have different scales and different model companies so people have some options. But I don't do 1/48 scale. Okay. We're going to kind of wet dry brush these sacks. I don't know what's in them. Doesn't matter. It's just something to fill the space here. That's all we did, just kind of give them an overbrush of that. Then we're going to come in and I'll try to remember to come up here and look at the comment. See, I was looking at the comments all here and all of a sudden they've frozen. You made yourself is the last comment. Like nothing has happened. And that was like, I don't know, 15 minutes ago. So I wasn't trying to ignore anybody. It was just, I hate when technology doesn't do what it's supposed to do. Okay. And then let's add a little bit more. Hitting some of the high spots only. And, oh, wrong one. Not that it makes a huge difference. Impressionistic painting, if you will, to a degree. I don't mind Impressionism, just don't give me Cubism. Like, no, go away. Yeah. Still not done with them, but mainly just trying to get everything kind of like in the same stage and then kind of bring everything up at the same time. We got washes and stuff to go on there, okay? This is tire stuff, okay? We got some gears here. I don't know why they're there. Now I get ChatGPT, give me a backstory of why there's multiple gears and tires sitting on the side of the Crash and Burn Cantina. It probably would give me a story of like, you know, how there was this one guy that, you know, he went off the, you know, just inventing shit. Nobody cares about that stuff other than me. And I don't care that much about it. I was reading something about, you know, backstories about the drivers, about stuff, and or backstories about your game. And it was some comment that I read. Basically, only the guy that created it gives a shit. The other people don't really care at all, you know. All right, let's get the darkest metallic color that I own. Iron Warriors. We can make it darker. We can add black to it, make it even darker. But this should be fine. And yes, there's going to be rust and stuff on it, but we do that afterwards. All right, let's get some Iron Warriors out here. We're going to paint both of these cogs. Kind of the same color. And I already have a sign design for this thing. Haven't printed it yet, but there's a sign designed already for it. I said, I'm not opposed to buying things that are already pre-made. The problem is like, okay, I want to work on a building. Well, do I want to wait 2 weeks to get it? No. So let's make your own. And I saw this thing and I'm like, well, this could probably make a canteen out of it. I literally just got it yesterday. I'm like, let's give it a shot. We got a game coming up in about a week. And this will be featured in the game. It's not going to be a central part of the game because it's not like you're going to be racing through this building or anything. We're going to do the same thing with these tires, the hubcaps or the not hubcaps, the wheels. And of course, we also have the corrugated metal door. Now, I like to paint things that look realistic and then they have some rust on them, not something that's like a complete rust bucket. But that's my personal style. All right, now. Maybe it's that. I'm just, you know, the thing is I've been painting so long that I really don't have a vision of how this is going to look, but I know how I don't want it to look. And, you know, I've painted so many things that you kind of know when you're on the wrong track, right? So you kind of want to prevent that because it just keeps you from having to stop and fix shit, you know, which is really unsatisfying. Now I'm going to repaint these tires because we got some overbrush on the tires, even though we're going to we're going to end up doing some overbrushing on them also, but we want to do that when they are black. And I'm not I paint the tires dark gray kind of person. I paint them black. You paint them dark gray, by the time you're done weathering them, it's going to end up being a light gray. It's going to look like that, little girl's bike with white tires. It's going to be way too bright for it. Okay. Every little thing else that I paint on is going to keep making it look better and better and better. That's the other thing. You can't just look at it and go, man, this is not looking very good. Well, you're not done, man. You got to give it a fair shot. Thanks for your confidence. Well, you've seen all my stuff. You know what I can do. You know what I can't do. I like it when I do something that's like something that's not my comfort zone and just knock it out of the park. I wouldn't say this isn't my comfort zone, although the first time I did those buildings, for those built-up buildings, for my World War II built-up buildings, I wasn't so sure those were going to turn out great. The ones that involved all the little broken bricks, and then I painted them. I'm like, fuck, I should have been doing this for years. I should have been doing this for years now. Okay. Now, let's go with another cut metal and bring it up more. Okay, which is the next metal that's up? Lead belcher. Blah. Now, hopefully you guys can see, look, you just got to put some TLC in it. It's not hard. The pitfall that I think people make, and you're willing to make that pitfall because, it does take some effort, is not when you're dry brushing, not using enough layers. You can't just dry brush one color, like, hey, I don't like how dry brushing turns out. Like, well, you got to add multiple, you got to add different layers so your eye is interested. You got to add eye candy to fool yourself. We're nowhere near done with this thing, but every step we do with it, we're closer towards the goal. So I think I felt similar when I was doing your own scratch buildings. Yeah, you did a great job, man. Those buildings you did for Stalingrad or whatever the hell they were, they look great, man. If you got any kind of experience like painting, just freaking jump in. Just jump in and paint your way out. This whole, I don't know if it's going to turn out right. What color? Just paint what you know. And I've talked about this before when I did figures. Like, I want my figures to all have like if you're building like a Three Kingdoms Chinese army for Wei, right? And you're like, okay, I want their base color to be dark blue or whatever. So paint everything dark blue. All right, now that that's blue, what color would you do the pants? And just take things one step at a time. Like, it's not like you're going to change your mind and go, like, I really didn't want to do them this color. Like, okay, what are you sure about? Well, I'm sure about this. Okay, well, go ahead and paint that stuff that you're sure about. You have to do it anyways. All right, we're going to use some of this metallic color and slop this on this paint, on this thing. This is the only thing that's kind of precarious, so to speak. It's just hot glue gunned on it. But it's something that is in a place where you probably should never even touch it, so it's not like it's going to get dinged around. Yeah, it's super empowering. Like, man, why haven't I been doing this stuff all along? Now, I don't think I'm actually going to make the metal on this any darker. On the chimney. Now, we are going to bring the tires up one more. This is Iron Breaker. These all have names of like British mechs. And it's maybe something in the Warhammer universe that has that color. Oh, we got squats riding iron breakers or something. I don't know what the hell it is. Okay. And we'll put some shiny parts here on the cogs, even though those are gonna get a heavy layer of rustification. And then maybe there's some parts here that got shinier than others. This wheel back here, just hiding back there. All right, enough with the metallic colors. Let's rinse this thing. All right. Now I regret getting the liquid green now. But you know what? I put it on that Italian house, and I made my own, and it worked just fine. All right. Where to next? Where to next? Let's get Tony's tones out here. Light tone, soft tone, mid-brown. I noticed that the new formulation is one that's called like a rust tone. I'm like, no, I want to make my own rust. You're taking the fun out of it. I don't want some pre-made rust color. It's always the same color. Taking the fun out of it. Soft tone, light tone. Light tone's the most orange one. Mid-brown's the most red. And the other one is in between. Okay. Let's make sure we have a drop of water. I'll thin these down as I please. And this size should be fine. All right, we're going to start on the corrugated door. And it's still going to look a little shiny, so it's going to look like off. No matter what I do, it's going to look like maybe something I'm not happy with. Now on this cog, I'm sure it rained a couple times, and we'll pretend these are stainless steel cogs, and it really took a long time for it to... If you got anything that's like has like iron or something, it's like orange in no time. I don't feel like I had enough of this light tone. There you go. A little bit in these wheels. Okay, sacks don't rust. Well, it depends what they're carrying. These aren't carrying anything that would rust. All right. let's get back to this brown color. Okay, this is the brown color that we use as a base for all these wooden things. So let's, do you have one of these I can flip over? Yeah, okay. So we're going to add some brown here. There's quite a bit of red in this, quite a bit. We need a little bit of water. A little tricky turning this thing around so you can get at it. And then do the same on this other side. Actually, it's pretty far along. It's pretty far along. We're getting there. All right, now we're going to go to the door, but I'm going to change it a little bit because it's getting kind of pinkish. It's getting kind of pinkish, and we don't really want a very pink door. There we go. I like putting these, like, looks like you can see like the stripes of the wood. Now that may not be realistic in scale, but it does catch your eye. It makes it fool like going, oh yeah, that's made of wood. Right, right. Like if you're going to paint a chest or something like that. Now by adding the white to this, we started deviating from the color spectrum of the actual finish on the building. So it's going to make some of these other things stand out more. And I'm not opposed to buying pre-built buildings. Like they've got that one. I know Hoffman and I were talking about that somebody makes a noodle shop. That'd be like awesome. But you got to wait a couple weeks to get it. Even if money isn't an issue. As I said before, the biggest waste of money is buying something and not doing anything with it, right? But you guys still have to wait for it to get to you. And then when it gets to you, are you going to be working on something else that's going to be hard to break away from and go back to what is it you're doing? Like the end of the week, I should have a bunch. I'm going to do an unboxing of it. A bunch of parts from Creepy Hero Studios. Bunch of weapons parts and rams and things like that. And I don't need them then. I don't need something else. I don't want the ability to arrive at the same time that stuff is. Okay. Now, let's go to the door. All right, so we painted like there's a frame there. This doesn't weigh a thing. Now we're going to go in. We'll do the other side too, so they're equivalent. We're going to come in and we're going to add whether you think it's wooden slats or something else like that. Now, I'm not going to actually put a little metal hook and glue it on there. I'm just going to paint a little hook, a little semicircle. Should have enough black here. Actually, don't even have to make it a semicircle. It could be like a handle. I'm actually going to go in here. I'm going to paint some hinges. Heck, it opens on both sides. The hinges on the other side too. F it. Let's go to the other side. Do the same thing. Okay, honey. Love you, bye. Love you. Okay, nothing spectacular. But just to make some, you need to fool yourself into thinking that's really a freaking door, right? Now, That's only using lead belcher so it stands out a little bit. Remember, you need to see this from 2 feet away. And you want to leave black around the outside of it a little bit so it pops it. All right, now, more Tony's tones. We'll put them on here. Dark tone. Oh, sorry, strong tone. This is what we normally would do on the vehicles. This size brush is probably just fine. Got enough water here to do the job. We've got this gap between this reinforcing piece and the adobe or whatever the construction is. Let's run it down there. We're going to run it around the door. There's something to add a little bit extra shadow to it. Around the gap here between the ground and the wall. Just adding some extra shadows here. What is that? It's nice. Okay. Don't want to go super crazy because remember, this is just cardboard. So we could weaken the hell out of this. Now we're on 36. This is dark tone. This is the black one. We don't, it really paints up pretty darn quick. And around the door. Yeah, it could be mildew. You know, if you power to wash your house, you know where all the dark spots are going to be. You know where all those spots are going to be. Heck, I kind of like the color the ground is in. I don't know if I'm gonna tinker with that at all. I'm going through a lot of this stuff. Right? And the gap between these two buildings. And between those two. Back here. On this side, back here. Around this chimney stack. Around these adobe things. Around the beams, the roof beams. Which actually go all the way through. You think you're going to do more buildings? Yep. You better fucking believe it. I'd be stupid not to. It's easy. I just got to find the right junk. I got to find the right junk. Absolutely. You know, and I don't really want my buildings to look that destroyed. You know, I don't want them to be in good shape, but, you know, I don't want it to be, you know, rust bucket racing where everything is rust and corroded. You know, it's like there's got to be some, you know, there's got to be some humanity left in it. And just spray everything friggin' orange and move on, you know? Add some of this in between some of these bags. And of course, you know, all bets are off what this is going to look like when we put the when you prime it, when you clear coat it. That's always like a super magic step. Things almost always look better when you're done with that. Okay, and of course, in between these tile things here. And we'll do that with black. We'll do that with black to make it stand. We haven't used the black yet. And I could have just as easily been doing this with the black and not the brown. Doesn't make that much of a difference. We're just adding contrast. Okay? Yeah, we're sure as hell going to make more buildings. You better believe it, pal. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten a package of something. We'll call it a television or something like that. Not that I'm buying TVs all the time. But I've gotten a package of something, and there's stuff in there that's made out of this material that looks like the mosque in Timbuktu. You know which one I'm talking about. The ones that have like all these little things, and there's a cool building. I believe it's a mosque. And I'm like, man, that would be great for whatever. And I held on to it for a while and then threw it away. You know, like, I'm not going to use this. You know, we'll recycle this. I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me. And, you know, I don't necessarily need any buildings that look like Timbuktu, but there's a lot of stuff out there that we could be making things out of. This is why I won't let my wife throw away junk with curves or regular shapes easy. Yeah. Yeah, I think the secret is just jump in. Just jump in and do it. Look, what's the worst thing that can happen? A wasted afternoon and no money. Like, it's basically free, you know? And we all keep ourselves from doing stuff because we're like afraid of how it's going to turn out. To some degree or another. To some degree or another. And just said, just start painting and just paint your way out. This is actually where the big gap is here. The big gap is that side opens forward, and this side is the bigger gap. That's the one that we need to focus on accentuating. Likewise on here, it's the gap over here. All my doors are right-handed. Although technically, if I have the hinge on that side, it's open on the other. Ah, fuck it. Let's just do them both. Who knows what side's what? All right, now, what's left to complete this? Green drippings. All right, so how do we do that? Okay, well, first of all, we need to grab a color that's it's brighter than we would expect it to be. Yeah, this building is insane, man. I should have been doing this years ago, man. We should all do this together. You know, I'm putting this together on we have some folks that are staying with us. They're kind of my parents' age, but they're like family friends. They're cool. You know, they're extended family, so to speak. And I'm putting this thing together out there. And I'm sitting there thinking, the very first thing I'm thinking of is like, you know, all those stupid school projects that artsy art teachers like, yeah, bring all these cardboard boxes and bring this and bring all this other stuff. And like all they had to do is like, let's make freaking Tatooine buildings or some shit like that. And it could have been just fine doing that. All right, so it rained and we have some mildew that is, we don't want to go too heavy on this because this is kind of hard to undo. Some mildew that's dripping off these. I did that on the Italian building, and I don't know. I can really see it with my eye. I photograph, and I feel like I'm missing half of the stuff on here. Well, we got some mildew underneath the. This takes no time, and it's fun to do. Well, I think it's fun to do. You know, we have these stupid art projects like bring spray paint and like bring, you know, this is like 1981, okay? Bring spray paint and bring like, you know, cardboard like containers of like, you know, milk and orange juice and stuff and toothpicks and we'll like make shit. And what are you making? You're basically making nothing. You're making just stuff that serves no purpose. You know, that's just disappointing. You could be building these Tatooine type buildings or something. Just a little bit. It's subtle. I'll flip the camera around and see maybe we can catch this on the camera. And then, of course, it rained here, and then this, you know, we got some mildewiness. Mm-hmm. Oh, phone keeps vibrating. Like, what are you trying to tell me? Everybody I want to talk to is right here. Where do the parts come from? Are they scratch built too? So this is a container for a razor. The packaging for a container of a razor. The door, this is matchsticks to reinforce and stuff. The door and this is all made out of cardboard. Tires are the car that I blew up, so were the cogs. This is just some tubing that I have. I've had this tubing for like 30 years and I think this is like the second time I've used it. This, the crowning glory, or what will be the crowning glory, is one of those tea lights. And on the roof, we're going to have, you know, the logo of the thing, you know, Crash and Burn Cantina. I'm gonna leave these cars in the colors that they are. That's pretty much it. I mean, there's not much to it. I mean, I saw the shape of this building. I'm like, yep, we're making some kind of cantina out of this. Now let me flip this thing around and see if I can catch this green glow this has. It's very little. All right, let's flip this around. Okay. See how there's some mildewy drippings there? It'll get wet. That wood will get wet. It'll start dripping for weeks. Cool stuff. Easy to do. Now, we're basically done with the building for the most part. We're not done with what's on the roof. We're not done with what's on the roof. Okay, so what do we do with what's on the roof? Well, I don't know that I'm going to make a smoke thing. Okay, because this is some light that they have on the roof that's just let's bring in and have a drink and then drive recklessly, right? Because it's just that kind of a world, right? So I may not do that, but these vehicles are going to need the same treatment they would need if they were real vehicles. And obviously these are not supposed to be real vehicles. These would be like go-kart sized vehicles. So we're going to give these things a brown wash on them, okay? Which we have brown stuff over here already. Let's thin it down a little bit and give these a... but look, okay, here's a perfect example. I did not flat coat these. So if you do not flat coat the wash, it just doesn't stay on there. So we're going to have to flat coat these cars. Or not wash them at all. That's a possibility. Let's just do the best we can. I don't want to stop and go do that right now. These are freaking toy cars anyways. They're not real vehicles. It's a Mustang. It's actually holding out okay. It's the big surface areas that are the issue. Okay, so these are going to end up being something like, we still got more to do. We got to dry brush them, make them dirty and shit like that. Something like that. Maybe one car getting T-boned or something like that. Mustang hitting, whatever the hell that is, Buick Regal or something like that. And we already have a logo for this place. You just gotta print it. Gotta make a sign for it and print it. I gotta print it first, find out how big it's gonna print. You know, something about the size of this. Maybe a little bit bigger than this. Okay, I'm gonna go use the backpack. Now, I probably did the right thing working on this instead of like building a ramp. Because I can use I can use the ramp truck as a movable ramp instead of like, working on the ramp. And the ramp would actually be in the middle of the race or the middle of the fight or whatever. This is, if you can't drive into this thing, there's no interior for starters. The cars are a little loud looking, aren't they? They're a little bright. That's okay. They're make-believe fucking cars. And I kind of like I like the kind of the groundwork that it's already in. Now, I said I was going to probably come back to this. So the last color we put on here is camel with a little bit of white. I'm going to come in with another color that is like this bone color. Sandstone. Now that everything is basically put together, other than what's going on here on the roof, which we wait for that to dry a little bit. Let's go in and dry brush. Some of this. Now this is uber wet, and it's not white, but it sure as hell looks like it over here. So I'm just going to just kind of hit the edges. What's up, Justin? Want to have a drink here at the Cantina? Shots, 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 shots. Spent all day working on this thing, and man, I got no regrets. This was worth it. It was one of the most positive days I've had in a long time. It'll soon be ruined tomorrow. Oh, man. It's like something from Pirates of the Caribbean. Something like that. You having winter lager right now as it is? Yeah, I can't drink and do this. Drunk painting with Tony. No, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see that. I just fall asleep. All right. The ground, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave it alone for now. Am I? What happens if I take, this is almost all gone. What happens if I take, let's just do the sandstone all around. I don't want to cover all of it. We still wanted the dirt ass color to be left. Dirt ass, you and your dirt ass color. Mr. Harvey, welcome. Welcome back. Today on making buildings out of hot garbage. Don't get none on you. A water tower. I want a water tower. I mean, she can have a water tower just off the race. A bunch of yahoos up there shooting at people. You know, I didn't do a death race with like turrets and stuff like that. Well, you could just have some hillbilly out there like taking pot shots at people, like the sand people. Instead of that, they're like, you know, get that guy, get him in. There we go. Make those tires pop. Like stand out pop. Let it out. I can't do that. Leave everything like a Christmas tree. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more. Well, I went really light on the paint. I don't think that any of it affected the construction of this. Like it weakened it at all. I was a little hesitant to cut the lip off the edge of this, but I did. I just didn't want it to be like countersunk. That's what it looked like. You have a flooding problem if it ever rained. You have a flooding problem in this building. A disclaimer: you must wear waders when inside of this. Okay, let's move this because we're pretty much done with this building as is. Now, for the train wreck that's happening up here, if I painted these like real vehicles, we're going to end up giving them a dry brush, but I'm not going to dry brush the mud color. I probably should. Well, we did this instead of working on Pussyfoot. And it's probably a good call because, I've got 40 other fucking cars and no buildings. So now we have a building. And we can be on the lookout for other building-like things. No, we need a little bit more stick 'em than that. Now, let's get a little bit of dark tone and a fine brush. A fine brush. These were off-brand micro machines. So they're not micro machines. They're, second-tier micro machines. I'm actually surprised how many people actually make micro machine stuff for Gaslands. I think that if you just did micro machine Gasland stuff, it'd cost more. Yeah, and this guy right here. So I don't know how often I'm going to be on this next week. This next week coming up for me at work. Not that I want to talk about work at all. Is the busiest week I've ever had in 30 years. It's going to be like insane. So on one hand, asking me to work on stuff is probably too much, but not working on it is probably not the right answer either because I'm going to need stress relief. So I probably will be on this week. Now, Tuesday would normally be the day I would miss for our model meeting, but I'm going to make zero attempt to go there. It is just not feasible. It's just not feasible to do all that running around. It just isn't worth it. My tolerance for running around while I'm overworked and running around for people that are retired just is really low. Like I'm not driving myself crazy for people that are just sitting around not enough to do. So that's because it's not, I'm sure retired people have stuff to do, but they get to choose the order to do them in. I don't get to choose a timetable. Like I can't like get ahead on shit. So I'm not even gonna even attempt to go there, as much as I enjoy doing it. So that's too much running around. So I probably will do a painting session on Tuesday. Not go to the show. All right, so we have these two guys. That's got to dry before we can go any further. We got this flame thing going. If I do smoke, I don't think I want to do smoke. I don't think I want to do smoke on it. Should be dry in no time. All right, let's get some of these weathering things. We're going to do the not the chocolate brown. We're going to do the other two. And I put them away, right, because I had this thing upside down. U.S. field drab and Iraqi sand. I believe this is Iraqi sand. It is. Yeah, it's like this week's going to be ridiculous. Now, I don't know why the hell these would be all weathered, because these aren't real cars. They're just things that are on the roof. But let's just say the people that decided to put the logo on this on this particular building wanted them to look realistic, so they decided to weather them like they were real cars. I don't know. That's my story. All right, we'll get some Iraqi sand out here. Get almost all of this off. Now the sign, I'm probably going to have it attached to either freestanding or probably attached somewhere on this building. And I don't know what the hell that building is for. Maybe to house the people that work in the kitchen. I don't have no idea. You're still around. It's really good. Do you say anything about adding a sign? Yeah, I already have a logo for it. I just have to print it out, and that's the wife's department. I don't know how to fucking print shit out here. I did make one with Chat GPT, and it looks all right. It looks all right. You can't get that much variety, but it'll work. It'll work for this purpose. Let's remove this. Drop that in the water. Remove this out of the way. And kill this. I'll fight these damn octopus legs. A three-legged octopus. Pretty happy with it, considering it's made out of trash. So, dynamic duo. Yeah, I think that's how they need to be. They need to be, because there's going to be a flicker flame here. Let's see, I'm out of hands. Let's click this thing on. I'm pretty happy with it, considering we made it out of trash. And it's just going to be, it can be like right next to the racetrack or something like that. I mean, it'll be on the board. It's just going to be into the racetrack. I guess somebody could hit it. I mean, it won't do any damage into it. They'll just bounce back off of it. But yeah, what's really impressive is this. It's the inside. When you look at the inside, it's just complete bullshit. There's the razor. There's where the razor was. So, anyhow, yeah, I've got a logo for it. Let's see. Let's see if I can do this. Hopefully I won't lose the picture. Just a second, folks. Okay. Let's flip this around. Let's go ahead and lose these glasses. Actually, let's not flip that around. Let's flip it over here. Let's lose the glasses. Let's bring up Facebook, where I sent myself the Facebook thing. Oh, fuck. Restore my messages. Don't send me a code. God damn you. It sucks. I guess you just have to wait on the logo. This thing's being a little dick. All right. I can't even get into my own Facebook account on the computer. I haven't used it in a long time. Anyways, see, how can is there a way to share a photo on here? Green screen, create live video, mute, letting, close. What does this do? What's this do? No. I can't add something on here. I'm not smart enough to do that. Okay, folks. Well, that's where we're at. We'll have to make a sign for it, post it. But this is the Crash and Burn Cantina. for Gaslands or for anything else. All right. Thanks for stopping by. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.